My name is Jason McKinley. I'm an adventurer and I'm a father. I'm a life coach. Fatherhood is what I take most pride from. Different marathons, ultra marathons, triathlons, Ironman triathlons, jungle marathons, Marathon des Sables, being up to Mount Everest to do a marathon in the Himalayas, and lots of challenging events. After I rowed across the Atlantic a few years ago, I wanted to see if it was possible to row around the UK, and we managed to break the record by a long way actually, because it hadn't really been established that well. So we went from Tower Bridge back to Tower Bridge and we broke the record by 11 days or so. So it shows that now it's a substantial record that's worth challenging. Previously there was very little known about that type of thing. So I took that event on again last year in a different format with more people, which was brilliant. Unsuccessful, which means you learn from that, and I'll go again next year. We were in the Irish Sea, and it was confirmed later on by the RNLI up in Newcastle, which is in Northern Ireland, a different Newcastle, that it was the worst seas for 65 years, and we just so happened to be caught in them. And we had these waves, very big, 10 stories. It tipped us over. 2 people were in the cabin, 3 people were on deck. Then the life jacket went off as it's supposed to, but because I went out to one side of the boat, I was being pulled under by the safety harness. So I was pulled under to the other side because the safety line was under the boat across the other side. So eventually I had to swim for it, which was difficult given that I was trying to swim underneath with a very powerful life vest on. I also had a lot of rope wrapped around my entire torso and around my neck a little bit, and that rope was attached to the anchor, of which 2 of the 3 pins had come out. And if that 3rd pin had come out, then the anchor would have gone down, the rope would have caught the chain would have caught, the anchor would have caught the chain would have caught the rope was around me, I would have gone down, but that didn't happen, so it's all fine. So my struggles have always been the same, but they're a little bit more highlighted now. And that was trying to figure out what is, how to work my brain to get the most out of myself, and to not to procrastinate as much as I have done in the past, have more focus, be more driven, and almost like, dare I say, like teenage issues, like who am I, what am I going to be, how do I fit in this world? I work really very hard for simple tasks that other people may feel easy. I'm now trying to find the balance of how I exist on a day-to-day basis, as well as coping really well in adventures, to try and not to take away from the adventures, because I want to continue those for sure, but actually to appreciate life's adventure on a day-to-day basis much more so, which I've struggled with in the past, and almost, I guess I would say, ran away from day-to-day tasks. And it's a privilege to take on day-to-day things now, given that I'm now diagnosed with ADHD, and to use the gifts that can offer me, and to make the most out of it, because it's not going to change. Forever and a day I'm going to be this person, and I wouldn't change that for the world. And I just want to make the most of it and be happy with the decisions that I make on a day-to-day basis, of which I definitely questioned a lot in the past, because my brain is like, I used to describe it to myself, actually, not to anyone else, as almost like snakes and ladders. I was working my way up and then I just slipped down again. But now it's more like a maze, or another way I would describe it is like spaghetti in a bowl, and you're trying to find one end and to get to the other, and it's virtually impossible. And I accept that now, and there is no end. I'm not trying to get to the other end. I'm just trying to enjoy the fact that I'm there, and and that was my biggest struggle, and that continues to be a struggle at the moment. But I'm more accepting of the person I am, and as I say, I'm also very grateful. No, I don't. I'm coming to terms with the fact that there is something out of my control, which is a really difficult thing for me to say. Emotionally and mentally being aware that there's something out of my control, and I don't have a say in how my body and mind reacts. And I try to do the best I can, and I fail miserably on a daily basis in all walks of life. My own son said to me yesterday, "Why, Daddy, do you need medication? You're perfectly wonderful as you are." But I live with this all the time, so there are things I'd like to change. And the point of titration to me is to try and get to a space where maybe some of the medication can act in the same way that my fitness and digging deep into levels of fitness and working to perceive level 10 so hard, 90+% of heart rate. That's the freedom for me. That's where I feel free and I feel at my best. And I'm hoping that in some ways, some of these, or working through titration, will get me to that stage where I feel I can cope and exist and thrive. Ultimately, it's living up here is where the pain is, and it's unseen by everybody. Yeah.